Goods receipt. In this lecture, I will demonstrate you the configurations for goods receipt. As after creating the purchase order, we have to create a goods receipt. We will take a look at what configurations we require to do in order to create a goods receipt. I'm already under the display IMG screen. Go under the node material management and then inventory management and physical inventory. Now we have to go to the node goods receipt. Expand the node. Right. The first configuration we need to do is to set tolerance limit. Execute it and you will be landed on the screen. Now here you can see different tolerance keys for the various purpose. The purpose of tolerance limit is what? When processing a goods receipt, the system checks each item to determine whether the goods receipt varies from the purchase order or the material master data. For an example, B1 represents order price quantity variance and error message. B2 represents order price quantity variance with a warning message. VP represents moving average price variance. We have to ensure that all these three tolerance limits has been assigned to our company code. Now let us go to the position and type your company code, which is SUK1, and check whether assigned or not. Currently it does not exist. As you can see on my screen, SUK1 is not present. So we have to either create a new entry or copy it from the company code 0001 to assign the tolerance keys to our company code. So what I'll do, let me select all these three, copy them, and then press the copy button. Replace the standard company code 0001 with your company code. That's it. I have replaced the standard company code with my company code. Okay. Now save it, create a new customizing request, press it to continue, and the data has been saved. Now I will select the company code SUK1 and copy the Now I will select the company code SUK1 and copy the settings to the company code, US company code, which is SUS1. Right? Now then save it. So this is how you maintain the tolerance limit in your company code for each tolerance key. Now I will show you the tolerance limit by navigating the company code SUK1. Double click on it. Okay. Now here the tolerance key B1 assigned to the company code SUK1. Since we have copied the standard settings provided by the SAP for this tolerance key B1, it means, as you can see here, the lower limit and the upper limit have a percentage of 50%. The order price quantity variance with an error message is 50% lower limit and also 50% upper limit. Right? Similarly, if you go back and look at the second tolerance key B2, you can see that the standard setting provided by the SAP are for order price quantity variance with a warning message. The lower limit is 20% and the upper limit is also 20%. Right? Going back and looking at the third tolerance key VP, you can see that the lower limit is not checked while the upper limit is checked, and the tolerance limit is 25%. It means the variance for the moving average price will be 25%. This will generate a warning message, not an error message, right? So that is the configuration we have to do for tolerance limit for a goods receipt. Settings to create a storage location automatically. Think about the previous configuration we did. where I've shown you the control to create a storage location automatically under the block parameters and also under the moment types. Now the third control is under the goods receipt configuration. Execute the node create storage location automatically. This means if you want to create a storage location, we have to configure each point for that. Click on plant. First of all, ensure that your plant allows the creation of storage locations automatically. Go to the position and look at your plant. Currently, it allows the creation of storage location automatically. However, if your business requires that this shouldn't happen, then you can unmark the checkbox against the plant for which you do not want to create a storage location automatically, and instead select the existing storage location at the time of the goods receipt. Okay, that's it. Go back. And the second one is the moment type. So we have already seen the configuration that the moment type controls the setting for create the storage location automatically. So once we can see that again under this activity, that the moment type 101 has got a control to create the storage location automatically. And alternatively, if you configure the same setting under the moment type, then you do not need to come back here, especially for the moment type button. Right? Now go back again. The next activity we can take a look is to create pages order automatically. Execute it. So this is the automatic creation of pages, orders and goods receipt, and you just have to allow the moment type to create the automatic purchase order at the time of goods received. So this depends on the business scenario that if an organization wants to generate a purchase order at the time of goods receipt, then they can configure the particular moment type to allow the automatic creation of purchase order. That's what you have to do by marking the checkbox here. Alright, that's it. Now go back. The next activity is to set manual account assignment. Execute it. Now I have already showed you these configurations under the moment type as well. That there are certain moment types where you need to manually assign the general ledger account, and for certain moment types the field is hidden, or for some it is optional. For an example, if you take the moment type 305, it has the field is suppressed. Click the list button to understand the options. Here if you see the field is suppressed, it means the entry is not required. If the field is blank and if it is having a dot, it means it is an optional, right? So go back. The next activity is to define the screen layout. Execute it. Here the activity is to see how the moment type controls the field selection. You may notice that the moment type 101 is not listed here because it is used for goods receipt with a reference to a purchase order, and no field selects can be set for this. Okay. All the moment types listed are especially related to the goods receipt document. For an example, if you want to transfer the stock from one plant to the another, we use the moment type 305. It is related only to the goods receipt document, not to a purchase order. You can control the field selection under a particular moment type. Okay. Now let's review the moment type 305. Double click to see the various groups like general data. Double click further on a group to see the fields. Example, assigned numbers is suppressed, line item text and the final issue indicator are optional entries. You can also control the status of the fields that are marked with FI only or no FI relevance, right? Fields marked FI only belongs to the accounting document, hence the FI only indication in brackets, right? Similarly, review the other groups if needed, such as an additional account assignments. Okay, in this case, if you see here, the cost center field is suppressed because it is not required for us transferring the stock from one plant to the another. Use the navigation buttons to review the other fields and decide whether to suppress them and make them required entries or keep them optional. Remember that the movement type controls the field selection for goods receipt documents as well, right? Now go back. The next activity is about maintaining the copy rules for reference documents. Execute this. Here you configure whether the items for a reference documents are automatically selected during the item selection. Okay, when creating a new document with reference. For an example, if you are creating a goods receipt for a purchase order, you have the option to manually deselect items. You don't want to adopt them for the item selection list. However, this configuration may not be relevant anymore since these transaction codes are listed here are now obsolete in SAP S4. So this is because in the SAP S4HANA Business Suite, all such processes should now be handled through the transaction code MIGO, which is also called as MIGO. Okay, the list of obsolete transaction codes does not include the MIGO transaction here, and there is no option to create a new entries for those obsolete transactions as well. Therefore, MIGO should be used for the handling goods receipt and the other related processes. Go back. The next activity is setting the delivery completed indicator. Execute it. In this step, you configure the systems to automatically pro propose the delivery completed indicator for your plant. This indicator signifies that no more deliveries are expected for the purchase order item. For an example, when you select your plant, the system will propose this indicator automatically. However, even if the system does not propose it, the item will still be considered the closed once the total quantity has been delivered. You can see this indicator in the goods receipt document. If you navigate to the goods receipt document and look under the tab purchase order tab. Okay, there you will see the delivery completed indicator for the item. Additionally, you can check in the purchase order. Okay, and it is available in the delivery tab. You will notice that the delivery completed indicator is also marked. So this is because you have already posted a goods receipt for a quantities I have ordered, which automatically set the delivery status to complete in both the purchase order and the material document, right? So this is a default system setting you can configure for your plant. Ensure that the delivery completed indicator is applied as expected. Go back. And the next activity is GR based reversal for GR despite invoice. Execute it. In this activity, you configure the system to control how invoices are handled when returning the items to a vendor after an invoice has already been posted, right? If a vendor invoice has been posted and you need to return the materials to the vendor, so you typically cancel the invoice before posting the return delivery with the reference to a return purchase order. However, this configuration allows you to adjust the process based on the movement type used for the return. For an example, now here if you mark the checkbox in front of the movement type 122, the system allows you to post the return delivery without cancelling the existing vendor invoice. You can reverse the goods receipt or post the return delivery directly without needing to cancel the invoice. Okay. If you do not mark the checkbox, you will need to cancel the vendor invoice before posting the return delivery or the return goods receipt with reference to a return purchase order. This control found in this configuration. Okay, you can also do the same process in the transaction code OMB Z, right? And this is how strictly the system handles the invoice cancellation when processing the returns, right? Now go back. Similarly, we can take a look at the configuration under the goods issue or transfer postings. Expand the node. You have an option to create the storage locations automatically. You can set the manual account assignment. You can also define the screen layout, maintain copy rules for reference document, and you can generate the physical inventory documents for goods movements. Okay, let's take a look at it, execute it, and then click on plant. Go to the position and take a look at your plant. As you can see here, this is the transaction or the event type that is assigned to your plant to create a physical inventory document. Or in the other words, this is the document type to create a physical inventory document. If you have created a custom document type, you can come on the screen and replace the standard document type against your purchase order to create a physical inventory document, right? If you go back, we will take a look at the movement type as well. It controls the automatic creation of physical inventory documents from a goods movement. Mark the checkbox against a movement type, right? Next, we will go back, click no, and then go back again. Next, we will take a look at allow negative stocks. Execute it. Now here, if you want to allow the negative stocks in your inventory with the combination of valuation area and the company code, you can mark the checkbox. Okay. Now let's take a look at the valuation area that is for UK below. At the moment, we are not allowing the negative stocks in our inventory. Okay. Now let's take a look at the plant level and see what is the setting is under that. We do not have any negative special stocks either. We are not allowing that. Okay. Now if we take a look at the storage location, we are not even allowing the negative stocks at our storage locations as well. Okay. But if you want to do that according to your business requirement, you can mark the checkbox to allow the negative stocks in your storage location, plant or valuation area. Remember, the configuration you will do at the valuation area level will also allow the negative stocks for the plant and the storage locations as well. But if you allow the negative stocks only at the plant level, that particular plant will have the configuration to allow the negative stocks and not all the plants. But if you want to allow at your plant to have the negative stocks, you can do that one by one. If you allow the negative stocks only at the storage location level, it will be for the particular storage location and not all the storage locations. That this is that is the configuration you can do here to allow the negative stocks. Remember, this is for the goods issue. We are under the not goods issue or transfer posting, right? Now go back. Similarly, we have the same configurations as demonstrated under the goods receipt and goods issue, and then under the judicial transfer postings. In automatic movements, if you expand, you can also create the storage locations automatically, set manual account assignments, define screen layouts, and generate the physical inventory documents for goods movements. The main configuration I demonstrated under the goods receipt and the goods issue is also the same under the automatic movements, but related to the automatic movements only. The logic behind the configuration for each node is the same as I demonstrated under the goods receipt and goods issue, right? That's all the configurations we have to look at under the node inventory management and the physical inventory in order to create a goods receipt document. That's it. I will proceed to the next activity in creating of goods receipt for the purchase order.